Hello and welcome to Fernbank Science Center's The Sky This Week for July 4th through 10th, 2021. Many people in the United States celebrate Independence Day on July 4th with fireworks. We'll look for some of those in the evening sky. The moon is new on the 9th, and we have bright planets in the early morning and early evening skies. Start off late, pretty late, on the evening of July 4th, facing the southeast. If you're not sure which direction is south from your observing spot, think of where the sun appears to rise. That's the direction east. Put your left shoulder toward that direction, and your nose will be facing south. Last week, we looked at a couple of constellations, zodiacal constellations, visible in the southeast part of the sky, Scorpius and Sagittarius. Scorpius is one of the few constellations that looks like what it's actually supposed to be. Long, curvy tail for a scorpion, pedipalps sticking off up in this direction, bright star Antares for the scorpion's heart. And the constellation Sagittarius kind of looks like a teapot, or at least part of the constellation does. If you can find that shape, and it's not real small like it appears here, on the regular sky, it's a good size. There's a handle, there's the top of the teapot, the spout of the teapot. And if you have an imagination, that's steam rising, Milky Way clouds there. X marks the spot. There are places in space, nebulae, where dust and gas are coming together to form new stars. Dan Mullen, one of the amateur astrophotographers and astronomers here in the Atlanta area, shares this image that he took. Now, this is not just looking through a telescope with your eye. This is using a large telescope, really good camera, lots of images stacked together. Quite a bit of time went into this, and it's a beautiful image. Happy 4th of July. Moving on toward July 6th, now get up early in the morning, about 5:30 on that morning. If you have a flat eastern horizon, no clouds or trees in the way, see if you can find the waning crescent moon. Just a little eyelash left over, and the bright planet Mercury is just above the horizon early in the morning on the 8th and 9th. The planet Mercury, it's the planet that is closest to the sun, and it was studied by the Messenger space program a few years ago. Closest to the sun, Earth is about 93 million miles from the sun. Mercury is much closer, only just over 37 million miles closer to the sun than we are. And it's moving fast. A planet that close has to speed along its orbit really fast to stay in orbit. Earth moves about 67,000 miles per hour. Mercury, over 104,000 miles per hour along its orbit. And it only takes 88 days to move around the sun one time. Move along toward July 8th, and this time let's face toward the north part of the sky. A few weeks ago, we looked at the constellation of Draco, the dragon, in between the Big Dipper and Little Dipper. The dippers are parts of asterisms. They look like cups with long handles. Big one, two stars pointing toward our North Star, Polaris. Handle of the Little Dipper, cup for the Little Dipper. And the dragon curls in between the two constellations. Like I said, those are just parts of constellations. Zoom in a little bit closer. See if you can find the Big Dipper. They're toward the northwest part of the sky. By 10 o'clock at night, its handle is sticking up, pointing up in the sky. The North Star is about 34 degrees above the northern horizon, our latitude here in the Atlanta area. The Little Dipper's handle ends in the North Star, and the dragon curls in between those two constellations. We're bringing up the dragon because when you look at constellations or add in the lines of names, you can see where the Big Dipper is part of Ursa Major, the big bear. Use your imagination. Her nose is pointing down this way, toes over this way, tail sticking up. Draco tail is between the dippers, and the lozenge, the head of the dragon, is over this way. Zoom in even closer. See if you can pick out where the Big Dipper is, to the left, and the Little Dipper with Polaris right at the bottom of this image. Can you find those two? Here's where the Big Dipper is. Handle, cup, pointers, Polaris, Little Dipper, dragon. Dragon's head, curly body, curly, 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 curly. That might help figure out where those are. And there's one star in the dragon that used to be the North Star. Polaris is our North Star now. And as Earth is whirling around out there in space, orbiting and rotating, the North Pole of the Earth does not point straight up and down. It's tipped a little bit, like a globe, about 23 degrees off axis. And as the Earth turns over thousands and thousands of years, that North Pole point moves, points to different stars over tens of thousands of years. And the North Star, when the pyramids were built thousands of years ago, was the star Thuban in the tail of Draco the dragon, right between the two dippers. On the 9th, we have a new moon. It's been a month since the moon was in this place. Friday the 9th is the date. 9:17 p.m. is the time. This is a little tricky. At 9:17, the sun has set, and the new moon phase is in the sky with the sun during the daytime. So we will not see a moon in the sky on Friday the 9th. One way to remember it is when the new moon is, there you can't see, there's no moon to see in the sky. On the 10th at 9:30, again, if you have a perfectly flat, perfectly clear, this time western horizon with no trees in the way, you might see a little waxing crescent moon, just a thin thread of a moon, and you might be lucky enough to see the planet Venus. Venus appears in the evening sky before even all the light has gone out of the sunset, and it's the brightest object over there for the next week or so. It is the second planet from the sun, sometimes called the evening star. If you don't see it at the end of this week, wait a few weeks, and as it moves along its orbit, it'll be a little easier to see in the evening sky. And as always, thanks very much for listening. Please keep in touch with Fernbank Science Center with our website, www.fernbank.edu. Check our Facebook page for international and national guests for our virtual planetarium programs and Saturday Science. Thanks again for listening. Have a great week.